What's up there guys, it's Mac, hope you guys are well. Yes, this is a video about two specific games right here that I'm basically selling. Yes, that's right, I've finally decided to sell these two games, and this is the first Switch games that I will be selling from my collection, because every single game that I bought up until this point, and I've got quite a few games, I will do a video on those on that Switch collection at some point, but I've got quite a few games, but I've never decided to sell any of those Switch games up until this point. But I've realized that mainly this one I'm going to be talking about today, but yeah, this is the first set of Switch games that I will be selling. Stay tuned to find out why these two are going to be sold or traded in to CEX. Drop that intro. Alright guys, so yeah, this is what, as I was mentioning, these two games I'm selling off. They've still got a bit of value when it comes to trading for CEX, and I will be selling them off purely because I'm just not enjoying playing them. This game I'm going to talk about briefly. Payday 2 is a really good game to play with co-op with friends online. That's where the actual problem lies on the Switch copy, because you can't exactly connect easily with friends. There is no way of actually communicating with your friends when you're playing on the Switch with this. Literally, the mode players are really silly. They don't really do what you need them to do when it's basically a 4-player co-op and you need to rob banks essentially. And not many people have this game, but at the same time not enough people are going to be connecting to it because of the fact that there is no third-party voice chat on the Switch for this specific game on the online app by Nintendo. At the moment, Nintendo's online app is only supported with Splatoon 2, and that specific game is the only one that's on the actual app, so you can do voice chat, whereas this game is not. So yeah, there's other ways of doing it. You can obviously communicate via, Google Hangouts and stuff like that, but why would you need to do that when you've got a game that's meant to be on the system and you're meant to be able to talk to your friends when you're playing it? And it doesn't make sense why they don't actually have it. And obviously, unlike Fortnite, this third-party game is not being supported hardly at all, and it's pretty much they're not going to release any updates for it, whereas Fortnite is getting updates and you are getting live voice chat via the headset. So that's brilliant, whereas this game has all been left, and unfortunately, yeah, it's going to get sold because of that, because I'm not getting enough game time out of it. It's not enjoyable playing with more players, and there's just not enough people playing it, and it is heavily gimped by the fact that you can't exactly talk to your friends when you're playing online. Now, this specific game, Kirby Star Allies, where do I begin? Now, I've been an avid multiplayer sort of couch co-op fan. I've always enjoyed it. I've loved it on Nintendo consoles, and predominantly I've loved the new Super Mario Brothers franchises, the 4-player co-op ones that they released on the Wii, and I think I have it here. Phenomenal game, by the way. This game is brilliant. 4 players, they smashed it out the park. They did a really good co-op mode on that game where you could actually play for many hours. You could have so much hilarious fun when you're playing with your friends and family in the same room, and you're literally jumping on top of each other. You're causing issues for each other when you're trying to get past and progress on a level. It's fast, it's fun, it's paced perfectly. The challenges are great, and also obviously the IPs of the Mario Brothers is a brilliant way to sort of draw that crowd. Now, Kirby, I understand that it doesn't have the exact same following as the new Super Mario Brothers. Obviously it's not one of the main guys, but obviously Kirby is one of the Nintendo IPs that's really popular. Not as popular as Mario, but it is there. It's a exclusive Nintendo IP obviously, and I thought this was going to be the new Super Mario Brothers for the Switch. As we know, by the way, that the Wii U version is going to be hopefully ported over to the Nintendo Switch, so I'm looking forward to that, because when that comes over, there will be no need for me to go back to the Wii U version of it at all. You can start that new file of the New Super Mario Bros. Wii U on the Switch. But this specific one, by the way, is nothing like those New Super Mario Bros. 4-player co-op games. They have a certain charm, whereas the Kirby games have a different style of artwork. Now, there might be, there's definitely people that love the Kirby franchise. You know, don't get me wrong, there are people that love this franchise, and you know, people will be playing it. I personally did not enjoy the whole befriending aspect on this game, and I, along with 3 other family members, we always played all the classic Mario games, especially the 4-player for the Wii, New Super Mario Bros. Wii, and the Wii U version, which was the second one of the New Super Mario Bros. With the 4-player co-op that came that came to the new Nintendo consoles at the time. They were phenomenal. We enjoyed it. We had so much fun playing those games. But this specific game, it was sort of dead on arrival. We put it in. I tried to get the same group of people that we had so much fun playing with on couch co-op on a 4-player multi-platform game. Just could not get the same type of vibe happening with this game. And trust me, it's not just them. I've tried it with 4 other family members and friends, and we've had the exact same situation. It is very slow paced. The actual pacing of the game, when you're walking just even across the first few levels, it's just so slow. Predominantly it's stuck with 1 player. I know they say it's 4-player friends, sort of, star allies. You're meant to co-op friends into it, basically give them a heart and they join the game. But because of that aspect of it, no one really knows when they're starting or when they're finishing. They essentially, the people that I always play with, they're always like, where am I gone? And where's my player now? There is no bubble up feature like they had on the other New Super Mario Bros. Wii, so there was always a way for them to come back into the game or bubble up and sort of survive. Whereas in this one, it's like everyone's sort of waiting for the player 1 to actually make the changes or befriend players so that they can then join as your couch co-op partner. So it is very tricky on that sense, where some people, because obviously when you play with certain people, they're not always your heavy gamers, they're just generally casual players, and this game is meant to be for the casual market, like the New Super Mario Bros. Wii and the Wii U versions. But they just, I don't know, I could not get that exact same sort of setup. The casuals that normally play it, they could not get into it at all. They didn't want to play with the characters didn't appear all the time. When you did sort of befriend a different character, they had a specific element of a specific, they had a specific purpose. Each character that you befriend would have either a flame or fire or some sort of power weapon that they actually have, and you need to use that weapon to sort of get through the actual game, or in that stage or that specific part. There's like a puzzle to sort of solve, and it gets confusing at times. I know there's a lot of reviews out there that was saying that it was meant to be quite an easy game, but we just found it really annoying and frustrating. There was one section that we were completely stuck on, and this is probably one of the least played games that we have in my library of Nintendo Switch games. This and obviously Payday 2, hence why they're both going. But this one especially, it's like it was barely played. We played it obviously enough to give it a good understanding of what I can expect from this game, really. I know some people will probably say that I've not played it enough, I've not given it a long enough chance, but trust me, the vibe there, whenever we get into this game, it's just not there. It's non-existent. It's very, very dull. I don't know how to explain it. It's just the fun aspect, the individuality that you get with individual players that are connected in. You don't have that because you're constantly just dropping players, reigniting players, attaching new players to your team, to your star allies, and then obviously dropping them. Sometimes they don't know where they are, they don't know where they've gone. Sometimes the players don't know where to actually use the power that they actually accumulated, or they've got basically they've sort of possessed a different character with a specific power, but they don't know how to use it. And it just, on top of that, the cutesy artwork is so very colorful, so very cutesy, to the point where it's just like you're basically walking on like a Teletubby type of a scenario. It's so unrealistic. I mean, it's not about being realistic, it's more like the case of it feels like you're sort of in a like a children's cartoon show rather than an actual, you know, like a Nintendo franchise game platformer. You know, that platforming aspect of it is sort of overshadowed with this cutesy style, and it's heavily simplified, and then the actual puzzles can be very confusing. You don't know which ones to pick up or what to burn or what to sort of dismantle to get through onto the next bit. Just the walking aspect, the way they float, they walk. Kirby is a very slow character from what I've noticed. When you're basically just trying to even hover across, is just so slow. The whole blowing in and getting and obtaining a power up is not that fun. It's quite dull. I mean, the Mario franchise, just basically the power ups. You know, you got flower power, you got the cat suit, you've got the large mushrooms, you've got the small mushrooms that make you small, you've got the star, you've got so many things, so many different suits that you could put on, and it makes an enormous change in the actual pacing of the game, and it makes it fun. The fact that you could jump off players and cause issues with other players, or actually just carry on progressing a lot easier. If you get stuck, you just bubble up and you continue to progress. It's completely different type of a game, and I personally just could not get the grips with this type of game, and I just struggled with it. And that's basically all the people that I played with as well. I found that it's a similar experience, and as a result, it's getting sold. I know this was a bit of a long rant about Kirby Stylized, but these are the two specific games that I'm getting rid of. They're getting traded in purely because they're not being played, and I just don't understand the Kirby Stylized you know, the popularity about it. I just don't get it, and unfortunately it's one of them games that has to go. Anyway guys, that was my review of Kirby Star Allies predominantly. Obviously it's also the two games I'm specifically selling, which is Payday 2 and Kirby Star Allies. I've not sold any Switch games up until this point, but those two are going, you know, and let's hope that the new Super Mario Brothers Wii U port that's going to happen on the Nintendo Switch is going to be awesome. It's going to have the Luigi mode, and I'm looking forward to playing that 4 players over this game, because come on, this was not what I expected, and I'll be really happy to get this out of my collection, because it's just one of those games that's not being played, and I don't like to have games in my collection that don't get played. So anyway guys, that was a quick video about that. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment section below what you thought about Kirby Star Allies. If you enjoyed it, if you found the same type of frustrations in the game, let me know. Definitely want to read all those comments, and I'll try my best to reply to every single comment like I always try to do. And yeah, let me know your thoughts about that game. Obviously there's plenty of videos out there that I've done you can check out the playlist and stuff, so do check them out. Let me know your thoughts on Kirby Star Allies yourselves, and obviously Payday 2 as well. Let me know if you guys enjoyed that game, or if you had the same type of issues that I had, which is basically playing online essentially and trying to communicate with your friends or people that you're playing with online, randoms as well. Anyway guys, until next time, take care guys. This is Mac. Peace out.